Hello. It's been a while since we did video 2 of the Commodore, the C64Pi project, because in the last video we painted the case and cleaned up the keyboard and everything, and due to work commitments and coding videos, not really done anything with this since the last time we looked at it. As you can see, it's still empty inside. You know I've got all the bits because I showed you on the first video what I'd bought, and I think it's about time I did an update. So how would you like a mini version of this? And I know you're going to be shouting at the screen, but John, you can buy a mini version. Yes, but can you buy a mini version that fits in your pocket? Well, it's been a while since I've done an unboxing video. So this came through the post, you know, fragile and all that, and it's an interesting little gadget. So we have HDMI cable, power adapter, some foam, but the interesting bit is here. Here we go. So, as you can see, anti-static bag with cables coming out of it. Let's see if I can get into it and pull it out. There we go. And what we have here is a Raspberry Pi Zero. It's version 1.3. I think the wireless one was called the Raspberry Pi Zero W, I think, or something like that. But so this ain't a wireless. So this is the first version of the Zero Raspberry Pi. I think it's half a gigabyte of RAM, runs at 700 megahertz, and it's a computer that you can literally put in your shirt pocket. I mean, if you could actually run your finances, run the day-to-day business, the day-to-day things that you would have a computer on one of these things. It's fast enough to do it. I mean, it won't do video editing and all that, but that's not day-to-day stuff. If you want a day-to-day computer, this is it. Now, what's so special about this is the person I bought it off is trialing, for a better word, the Vice emulator. And basically this is a Commodore 64 Micro. Fits in your pocket, and it will boot up into the Commodore 64 if you wanted, or it would boot up into the VIC-20 if you wanted, or the CBM plus 4, the C16, and it does the PEPs as well. So it's effectively running the Vice emulator on here, but when you switch it on, it will boot straight into whichever model you've decided you want to boot into. And I was very curious because that is one of the things I want to do with this, is to be able to switch it on and it goes into whatever Commodore I deem it to go into. So mostly with the 64. And so I thought I would give this a go. Now, when I do it, in there, it won't be using a Raspberry Pi Zero, it'll be using a proper Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. because that runs at 1.4 megahertz if you've got it cooled correctly. It's got a gigabyte of RAM, it's got wireless, it's got the networking all on board, it's got multiple USBs. But this cost 30 quid. And I wanted to see if it was feasible to do it and then figure out how he's done it so I can do it for that on the Raspberry Pi. But I also want to make that into a retro gaming station as well, because I've seen them on these markets at the seaside and some markets in some towns where the guy's selling a retro gaming sets thing in a Raspberry Pi box that looks like a Nintendo NES or a SNES or something like that, and they are charging 120 quid. Now, I'm not going to pay that when I've got a nice case, got the controllers, and so I want to try this out. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to plug it into the TV and we are going to see how it performs, and then probably in another video we'll figure out how they've done it to try and replicate it for the Raspberry Pi. And I mean, to be honest, wouldn't this be, except for the cable, but isn't this cool that you can fit a Commodore 64 probably loaded up with games on here in your shirt pocket? How impressed could you go to your work colleagues and say, hey, do you want to play Manic Miner? Now hang on, let's just plug it into the telly. Anyway, let's get down to it. Let's see how this performs. Let's plug it into the telly. I'll see you in a minute. Hello everybody. Right, as you can see, I'm in different clothes. Yeah. While I was editing this video yesterday, because we're currently in the middle of the Neptune Lander series, and I wanted to put a different video in the middle of it, just to break it up a bit. And while I was editing this video, I was completely blurred. Completely blurred. Background in pristine focus. Me, blurred. All the way through the video. All the way through. It was blurred when I was pointing it to the TV. It was blurred when I was pointing it to... Yeah, it was... it was a mess. So, I have decided to re-record it. But I wanted you to know, hence, different clothes, light, because it's completely dark out there, and to do it again. So, you've seen the unboxing, you saw what I meant by blurred. Well, it got worse. For some reason the camera was locked onto something behind me. No idea why. So, anyway. So we're talking about this. The Raspberry Pi Micro. Pi, what? I forgot what, Zero. That's it. Raspberry Pi Zero. Completely forgot the name now. And it is loaded with the Commodore Vice emulator. So we're going to plug it in and we're going to see how good this £30 purchase on eBay performs. And this will be the second time I've done it. So I know what I'm going to say, so hopefully it will go pretty smoothly and there'll be lots of, there won't be any or oh, why doesn't that work, what's going on. Yeah, like the first video. Yeah, I have to do some more research and stuff before I just dive in and think. Anyway, so we're going to connect this in to the TV. Going to use the camera to point at the TV. It's been a while since I've done that. And we'll see how this performs. I'll see you in a minute.
Hello. Right, got it set up. So there's going to be a little bit of camera wobble because I'm going to grab the camera and whoa, there we go. One, whoops, bit shaky here, just trying to find the focus. There we go. One keyboard. Now I bought this specifically for this. Got the Raspberry Pi, got the power going into it. This is power lead. This is the transmitter for the wireless keyboard and the HDMI cable. And it's all going into the switch box, and as you can see my output recorder is switched on. So what we're going to do, we'll put this, whoa, come on, you can do it. There we go, go on. Don't fall over now. Don't fall over. Don't fall over. Come on, you can do it. Oh, and it fell over. Oh well. Right, hopefully that's stable. Yes it is. We will point the camera at the, in fact I'll move. Point the camera at the Raspberry Pi, come on. That's what I want to focus. There we go. I think that's in focus now. Oh, the camera's trying to slide down. There we go. One Raspberry Pi in focus, I hope. Can't tell. Anyway, let's put the finger there. That's better. So I'm going to switch it on. Here we go. Should see the light. There we go. So as you can see, I'll just turn the camera just a little bit because you can see the image on the telly. Yeah. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the image, because I'm recording it, I'm going to put the image in the corner, around about here, and so you can see how it boots up. And there you go. It's booted up into glorious, glorious, not in focus telly. There we go. How about that beauty? Like I say, it's been a while since I've held a camera in front of the telly. Oh dear. Right, so let's type of programming while I'm old. So one-handed. So shout at me if I'm doing wrong. Are you still watching the telly? Yeah. So I didn't go down. My famous programs. Give it a run. Look at that. Right. I'm fed up holding this camera now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the video output become the screen, and then we'll go through this. So give me a second to put this camera down. Right, I'll be back in a mo. Right. We've just been playing. I mean, I've just done a quick introduction into this Pi Zero with Combien 64. It's very good, and I wanted something for the Raspberry Pi, the Pi 64, a way of being able to emulate the 64 on the VIC and all that without having to go into the Debian operating system and then having to double click the icon and stuff like that. This looks like it's going to be the way forward, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to download the image, see if I can create another version of it, see if I can configure it for the Pi 3, and because the Pi 3 is going to go into the case. But this is a £30 piece of kit, and it came with all the cables and the charger that you can put in your pocket. I think I said shirt pocket, and it plays all your 64 favourite games. And to be honest, I'm going to see if I can find an image for the ZX Spectrum and the BBC and see if we can play them on here as well. It means you can take this anywhere. We all carry chargers and cables around because of the mobile phone age. Why not carry one for one of these? So, I hoped you enjoyed this introduction to this little gorgeous piece of technology, and this is the sort of thing I'm now going to base this software part of this project, because before I was going to put Raspbian on it, I was going to install, get Vice compiled on it, make some icons, and hey presto, we're but this is far better. And once I've understood how the menu items work, I think this is the way forward to do it. So you get the C64 Mini, but in full size with a working keyboard, and potentially, what is it, £50 now? Unless you buy one of these, and then it's only 40 quid with everything in it. Right, with that, if you like this video, click that like button. If you didn't like the video, fine, hit the dislike button. Always leave me a comment, I try my best to answer them all. And if you'd like to support or sponsor, trying to invent the word there, support or sponsor this channel, consider becoming a patron of mine. All the money raised in the channel goes back into the channel. I don't take anything off it. I've put it all back. I've got, I've paid for all this equipment now, the camera I'm looking through, and this, and all the bits like that, and the books behind me. So with that, I will say I'll see you for now, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Take care. Bye. I'd like to thank all the patrons that are contributing to my channel. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. Thank you very much.